All right, so that was an interesting one. So I just came out of the theater from watching the Backrooms, and solid movie. Now, I'm not terribly familiar with the original lore of the series or the original concept of it. From my understanding, this is pretty much just like an indie sort of YouTubers like horror thing, similar to how like Slender Man came about. An interesting like analog horror concept turned to life in a live action movie done by produced or published or released by A24, and I thought it was all right. I'm fairly uninitiated when it comes to horror movies, and so this one is a little bit lighter on that aspect. I think for people who are a little bit gun shy about scary movies and stuff, this one's a good one, and definitely psychological horror. Not terribly big on like the jump scares or gore or anything like that, so it's not really that big. It's just it's a slow burn, a mystery, and truth be told, it kind of spoke to something a little deeper in me, because I had a long time ago, I had like sort of like a recurring dream that's very similar to the elements of this movie. And obviously, those dreams were never very comfortable. So this one does a pretty good job of sort of speaking to that level of psychological sort of anxiety or fears. Could the runtime been a little bit shorter? Yeah, but the movie didn't drag either. Basically, as mild of a spoiler as I could be, if this could even be called a spoiler, is that if you liked The Shining and the psychological elements of that, then you'll dig this movie. And I think that this is it's kind of a testament to how successful and how efficient and effective storytelling in horror can be, because you can do a lot with little and tell it very effectively. And it relies on you. You can be as clever or as on the nose as you can when it comes to storytelling with horror. There's a lot of versatility with it, as long as you can get comfortable with it. And I think this is what, lately with the success of this and Obsession, which I'll try to do a review soon, and a bunch of other horror flicks, it's pretty much, I think, hopefully Hollywood doesn't get the wrong ideas about it, but hopefully sweet testament to see what we can see be coming out theatrically in the future, because the industry is not doing too good right now. It's not going to be good for jobs, but at least for I can predict some sort of like indie sort of revival, or some sort of indie wave of new up and coming filmmakers from this current crop of horror movies, because it's fairly it's not terribly resource heavy, similar to how like the early 90s saw a wave of talent coming into Hollywood, coming in from just the indie circles or music videos or commercials, stuff like the Michael Bay's or David Fincher's or Tarantino's and stuff like that, Rodriguez, Linklater and all that. You'll get a new crop of directors, horror filmmakers coming into their own. And I'm for it, because I'm tired of all the slop and the formulaic stuff and Hollywood just pandering to the lowest common denominator. And so that's my prediction. We saw it in the 70s with your film school types, your auteurs coming out, like your Spielbergs, your Coppola, Lucas, De Palma and all that. You kind of got that wave of guys coming in to set the stage for the next decade, and again in the 90s, and you didn't really see that much of it lately, or at least I didn't. But yeah, so if you like low-key spooky stuff that's light on the actual horror and scariness, and more so just intriguing and interesting, then this is it. The way the movie was shot was fairly uncomfortable in certain scenes. The way the shot compositions were, some of the POV found footage style stuff was pretty cool. But overall, it was unnerving. So I liked it. So if you want to dip your toes into spooky stuff or horror, this is probably a good way, entry level point to do it. And if you just want to see something that's fairly unconventional, then this is it. But, you know, I'll let you be the judge of that. But yeah, that's my quick little review for The Backrooms. And a funny story, I had to see it in 2 sittings because yesterday we had to get evacuated due to an incident here. And so I came back after work to catch the second half so I can complete my viewing of it. But yeah, there it is. So hopefully you'll see some more movies like this coming out, or at least Hollywood being less risk averse for this kind of storytelling in the future, so that we'll see a little bit more variety of the stuff that's coming out. You know, it's a little something for everybody. My hope is that you will see a little bit of a correction of it. What it'll result in jobs and all that stuff remains to be seen. But in terms of content offerings, I think we're going to see a revival of lower to mid-budget movies, because eventually some of these franchise movies, I think, and I'm rambling, you know, of course, but I think some of these movies are going to be too big to succeed, to where Hollywood will have no choice but to give it a shot with mid to low budget projects that have a little bit of a better chance of return on investment. But yep, there's my review for The Backrooms, and I'll see you guys later. I'm going to try to go home here and not get too wet. But boy, I like this view, huh? Anyways, you guys take it easy. You catch me rambling on the next one. See ya.